morning, all. And first, let us have a prayer. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. So, I would like to welcome all the spiritual enthusiasts to the session organized by IAVS. My name is Dattatreya Kirala. I'm associated with IIVS in a supportive capacity, working as a lecturer in zoology and editor for monthly magazine Subvarta. And it will be a great pleasure for me to introduce my friend and the scientist, that is Dr. KSMS Raghavarao. We all call him affectionately as Raghu. He is a chemical engineer specialized in food engineering and biotechnology. He obtained a B.Tech from Andhra University in 1981. And without a master's degree by his work, he directly got a PhD from ICT Mumbai, which was formerly called UDCT. That is in 1987. So after post-doctoral work at NIST, Colorado, many people wanted to settle there, but he wanted to settle down in India. Then a brief stay at NIT Warangal. Then he joined CFTRI in 1990. So once the past 30 years, he has been working in CFTRI. And recently, he was appointed as a director of CFTRI, that is CSR sister concern, putting his best effort to rise the institute to higher levels of performance. He has been a recipient of prestigious NASI, Reliance, and VASVIK awards for applied research. He has received 2 out of the 4 prestigious National Fellowship Academies, and that is FNAE and FASC Bangalore, besides several others. Right. So he has received a National Award for Technology Transfer by Ministry of Agriculture and Virgin Coconut Oil Technology. This technology has been transferred. Most of the research work, what will happen is it will stay at the lab, but will not transfer to land. But now here, practically useful and applied scientific work has been done. So he has received a Lifetime Achievement Award for his outstanding contribution in the field of science and technology 2019 by Andhra Pradesh Academy of Science. And he has over 175 research publications with a H index of 51, with citations of over 9,756 and about 28 international patents and 55 Indian patents. And this is his very, very abridged version of his scientific achievement. Great work. And in addition to our monthly spiritual magazine, Subvarta, there also he contributed articles on Gajanan Maharaj of Shegaon and Nayana, that is Kavikanta Vasishta Ganapati Muni, and now writing on Sridhara Swami. So he is scientist in 2 different fields. One is material science and other one is spiritual science. For the spiritual science, there is no direct degree, right? He has the fortune of getting under the fold of Gurudev Pujya Sri Vedavyas at a relatively young age while doing his B.Tech. So when he was studying engineering at the time of itself, he attended Guruji's lecture and he organized some of the lectures in Andhra University at that time, attended several programs and training programs. Yoga Sikshana Taragatis, etc. He has received Gayatri Mantra and that is Upanayana from Guruji in Sriman Narayana Yajna conducted every Makar Sankranti time. He has been effectively managing both his material and spiritual life, which is a difficult task for most of the people. He is making balance, which is the main suggestion given by Guruji. So one of his keen interest is to work in the establishment of Vedic University at Rishi Vatika Campus near Madanapalle, the dream project of Guruji. So it is very difficult to give a brief introduction, but we are eagerly waiting for a great talk by Dr. Sri Raghavarao. I welcome Dr. Raghavarao.
Namaste. Thank you, Dattatreya Garu. Thank you for your generous introduction. So at the outset, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my views. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. I will start my presentation with Guru Vandana. I bow to the lotus feet of Gurudev Pujya Sri Vedavyas Maharaj. Guruji introduced me to Shirdi Sai Baba by giving the life story book, which is the present form I am trying to show in the slide, but which is that time this is not the face cover. Because of his grace, I came into contact several spiritual masters later. So today I'll be sharing most of the anecdotes and examples revolving around the teachings of Guruji, Sai Baba and Sri Ram Sir, especially for the benefit of myself and youngsters who are the future of the country. Next one, please. So this, if time permits, I'll come back to this slide. Next one, please. Yeah, is there any new information that I'm sharing now? Not really. Because it is actually, I am telling for myself, it is meant for me, for my spiritual progress. But in the bargain, you are also, everybody is listening to it. Why I am doing this? Because Sravanam Mananam is the important part of spiritual practice, as Guruji used to say, till they become the part and parcel of your system, the chitta, that is Ahankara plus Manas. So Guruji used to say it is very difficult to explain things in spirituality in words. Forget about God. God is a very complex situation. Even simple things like honey. For example, if I tell you honey is sweet, you will not know what it is sweet. Then I have to tell him it is like sugar. If you do not know sugar also, I have to say it is like mango. Instead, if I take a spoon of honey and put in your mouth, immediately you will experience it. Then no need of any words. So similarly, we should try to experience the truth, the self or the God. That is the ultimate objective. Next one, please. So in the book, as forward, many of you must have read, Guruji explained the philosophy of Sai Baba's teaching, which otherwise very difficult for people like me to comprehend. What is the story? I will be reading his life stories, but I will not know the actual spiritual principles underlining. That Guruji explained in the foreword of that book, Pathless Path to Spirituality. Many people say that spirituality, there is no specific path, including Jiddu Krishna, people's philosophers like Jiddu Krishnamurti. In this, Guruji explained that pointed out that there is no fixed prescription in Sai Baba's teaching. Another thing is transferring karma of the devotee to himself and passing on the comfort to the devotees. The story of Goldsmith, everybody must have read. She is a devotee putting child in the lap. She is blowing the bellows for the goldsmith work, whereas husband is not well. He was in the other room sleeping. Suddenly he calls for her and she forgets the baby is in the lap and gets up and she falls in the fire. Same time, Baba puts his hand into the dhuni and everybody pulls him back. Look at your hand, it is burnt. Then he says, no, at least I'm glad that child is saved. So that meaning they realize only after several days or months when the lady comes back with the baby and to thank him. So that is the transfer of karma onto them for the benefit of the devotee. Similar thing you can see in Jesus Christ, sacrifice for the sins of the everybody on the cross. So why they do this? By virtue of their infinite compassion. Spiritual masters and gurus are embodiments of compassion. So many of your Iskafi brotherhood must have experienced similar things in Guruji as well. So what I want to say is Guruji is not simply preaching, he is demonstrating the similar paths of what these spiritual people like Sai Baba have done, similar thing. One example I readily recollect is in this context is granting parenthood to a lady devotee. I don't want to name her, but it was all astrologers and doctors declared that that young girl cannot conceive a baby. Her mother is a very strong devotee of Guruji. So father is a communist. He was not believer of God. So three of them came to guest house in Guntur when I happened to be there along with Guruji. She cried her heart out and Guruji blessed her that, no, don't worry, you will be blessed with a baby. After the leaving, Guruji asked me, I gave the blessings that he will be blessed with a baby. So do you think the blessing will bear fruit? I said, yes. I do not know how, but definitely God will honor the Guru's words. So that's why I am sure that it will be honored. Then he explained how this happens. He took the lives in different cycles and how it can be brought from one life to the other, even though current life it is not there, how it can be brought, like inserting a DNA gene in the plasmid, even though it is not there. That kind of thing he explained, and this can be done. Eventually, she was born, she was blessed with a baby, and now currently she is working in Hyderabad, the young girl. So then immediately he asked me to bow to his feet. So normally he won't do that. When I touched his feet, really it is very, very hot. I realized, Guruji, you asked me to put water for your bath, but you are running high fever. Then said, that's what I'm saying. When we try to tinker with their karma from one life to the other, there is a side effects will be there. I have to pay this price and I have to do some japa, that kind of thing to overcome all this. You don't worry on that, he told. Next one, please. So similar analogies in this context, Sri Ram sir used to say, the childless mother is more unhappy than the motherless child. So here he used to draw the analogy of biological mother to the cosmic mother, that is God, and the child as a devotee. So God requires more, has the necessity of the devotee rather than vice versa. So that was an amazing analogy. So Guruji used to draw analogy even from our scriptures. So you are all aware, Kuchela, in spite of being a close friend and classmate of Lord Krishna, he has to suffer poverty throughout his life because of he told a small lie that he is not eating. Until the karma is transferred in the form of 3 fists of flattened rice, and he is relieved of that. Similarly, when Lord Krishna, Guruji used to narrate these stories. So Lord Krishna was gone for grazing of these cows. Suddenly there is a forest fire and cowboys came running for the rescue. Cowboys never, these all is gopikas and gopakas, they never thought Krishna is a Lord or God Almighty, but they know that he is a superhero, Superman, Superboy, because all his previous incidents of the life, definitely he will come to his rescue. So he sees the devotion behind their belief and asks them to close their eyes and swallows the fire. Similar things Guruji was mentioning, drawing analogy in the demonstration in Sai Baba's life. The all-pervading nature of the Atma, Sarva Bhutatma demonstrated. He says he is very hungry. Radhakrishna Mai brings food freshly prepared for him, curd rice, and immediately he gives away to the hungry dog there. She complains, what is this? I did so much effort and brought for you. I did not even eat a grain and everything you have given away. Then only he says, see, you guys are still not coming out of that Maya. So if you see a hungry animal or bird or any living being, assume, consider or realize that it is me. So I'm there everywhere. It is not this physical form. Then analogy Guruji draws with Draupadi's Akshay Patra, small grain is remaining, and Lord Krishna takes that, and immediately the Durvasa Maharshi and all his disciples, they feel heartfelt. Actually, they came to put these Kauravas into embarrassing situation, without notice, they come for the food. So similarly, Sai Baba used to keep rubbing from Dakshina, whatever is collected in a small bag, he used to keep on rubbing them. The Shama, who is a very close devotee of Sai Baba, used to ask, what is this, Baba? How many times you count also? It will be the same amount. Why are you counting so many times? So then he says, I am not counting. Actually, I am rubbing away the karma. So the scientifically, if you see the analogy, it is like, it is a crude analogy will be the iron piece converting into magnet by constant rubbing of it. So Guruji used to tell to read many of these books. So we read those stories because Guruji told as a ritual, but always not necessarily that we acknowledge the underlying spiritual principles behind. So that's where there is a need for proper interpretation by Sadguru, where we start experiencing the divine hand even in the smallest things of our daily life, which otherwise go begging our attention. Next one, please. So there is, for the spirituality, there is a contrasting approaches. Suppose if you assume that self-nirvana or self-realization is something like reaching the top of a hill, there could be several paths to reach there. At some locations, the paths apparently look opposite, one going down, one going up. But that is only temporary. Afterwards, all the paths will eventually lead to the top. So that is exactly the spiritual journey. So there are two kinds you can notice. One is top-down approach, that is Anugraha Marga. Bottoms-up approach, where sadhana onus lies on the devotee sadhana marga, like Ashtanga Yoga, Kundalini rising in along the chakras. So you can say that this is something like Markata Kishora Nyaya and Marjala Kishora Nyaya. In Marjala Kishora Nyaya, the cat only takes care of the kids by holding gently the neck. The onus lies on the mother rather than the kitten. Whereas in Markadakeshwara Nyaya, the baby monkey has to hang on to the mother when she jumps from one branch to the other. So onus lies on the sadhaka devotee. So easy method is better. Convenient for a method was Anugraha Marga, which Sai Baba used to follow. So Guruji was used to explain that in the current Kali Yuga, Sadhana Marga is Anugraha Marga is the only way for God, because if you God start evaluating how much impurity is there, how much is qualification is there for the devotee, he will not find anybody. He has no choice. That's why he has to show Anugraha Marga. That's what Baba has shown all his life. That's where I got impressed by reading the book for the first time. He was very much moved by the Sai Baba's life story, and as an active brain, so he started testing the efficacy, whether really is Sai Baba is so powerful. If so, he used to put some tests like IAS interview card, whether he receives within a week, or whether he fares very well in the exam, the interview, so that I will visit Sai Baba. Then it could, again, rational mind says it could be a coincidence. So he has done validation and reconfirmation on his own father and Master Bharadwaja, who is a younger brother. So this reminds me international yoga conference where I attended along with Srinigaru. If time permits, I'll come back to that incident. One thing I want to say is, Guruji always used to tell these highest spiritual lessons in a very, very casual passing mentions. It's not never organized teaching. So this always used to keep us on toes. We have to be attentive so that we collect those pearls and keep very, very carefully as a prize possession throughout our life. Next one, please. Always he used to say, there should be a three-pronged approach in life. individual sadhana, group sadhana, that is satsang, and service, niswardha seva. This is the three-pronged approach he recommended for all yoga brotherhood. You are very much aware. He used to say that whatever you do which is not useful for you and very much useful for others in the society, that defines your aim of life. Otherwise, how do you distinguish from a chair or a table lying here? So it doesn't matter whether they merely exist. You are also merely exist. You don't live. So, but unfortunately, we are busy living without even thinking what was aim of life until such Sadguru points out and brings to our notice that what we are missing. Sri Ram sir used to say, life is like living joy and sorrow with equal spirit, taking in the equal spirit because both are given by God only. So he used to point out logically that rain of joy comes from clouds formed out of the sea of sorrow. You cannot have one without the other. I cannot say I want only shine, I want only rain, not the shine. So rain is a prerequisite, shine is a prerequisite for rain. So it applies for all the dualities of life, like joy, sorrow, day, light, all these things. Many people used to say that, see, when you look around in the world, there are so much suffering. So immediately they jump to the conclusion saying that either God is not there, or if he's there, he is not kind enough. How can so much suffering can be there in this world? Similarly, in Vaikuntha, the close devotees of Narayana, Vishnu, Uddhava also contemplated same way. Why can't God remove all the misery of this world by bringing all of them to Vaikuntha? Then immediately Vishnu reads his mind. Okay, Uddhava, it is not like that. They would not like to come. No, he is not convinced. Okay, you go into the world and see for yourself. You bring them. If they are coming, I will be very happy to entertain them. This is the story Guruji narrated that Murkhap Bandi, stupid pig story. So Uddhava goes into the earth, Mother Earth, and the first living being he comes across is a pig which is in a dirty pit. He tells it, say, I have a happy news for you. Vishnu wants to give you Vaikuntha so that there they will not have any pain at all. So you can be very happy just having his darshan all the time, 24/7. Then pig asks, will there be like these dirty pits there? Will there all these piglets will be there? If they are there, then only I can come. And he says, no, what are you talking? It will be very clean place and you have to come out of all these attachments of your piglets, all this. Now your attachment is only to the Lord all the time. You will be watching him and seeing him as darshan eternally. Then he says, no, I suspect your intentions. I am not interested in coming. So he was dejected. So he comes back and then Vishnu tells him, Uddhava, have you realized that they are not interested in coming here and they are not interested in me at all? They want God only for their wish list, like their grocery list they want. That is the ultimate motive for them. Beyond that, they are not interested in me. Next one, please. So then you may say that there is a miscommunication because in between the mediator is there, Uddhava. If he is direct communication, what happens? So if God appears before us directly, then God gives a choice. So you want wisdom or ignorance? Of course, we will say that we want wisdom. The next question, you want happiness or sorrow? Again, obviously, we say happiness. Here, Sri Ram sir explains, here is the catch. We forget that without sorrow, one cannot get wisdom. By making such choice that we are asking for wisdom as well as happiness, inadvertently, we are asking for ignorance. Because happiness and wisdom do not go together. So this is a totally eye-opening concept. Next one, please. Then how to find happiness? Happiness is found by giving something to others rather than receiving. I can narrate a small story of a blind patient. So two patients are admitted into a hospital. They are in the separate beds in the same room. One patient was very close to the window and he can rise up only up to his level of this back. The other patient unfortunately cannot even do that. Always he will be lying down. So after lunch, the patient who is very close to the window, some with great difficulty, is to rise up to his back and peeps through the window and narrate him several stories, like there are swans in the pond, there are some lotuses come, the birds are flying, butterflies are there, like that. He used to narrate vividly, explaining the scenery every day to him, to the other patient. The other patient used to not only enjoy and used to look forward for it every day. One day suddenly the first patient passes away in the sleep itself. So this patient asked the nurse, "Why don't you shift me to that window side?" He shifted there. With great difficulty, he rises up to his trunk level and peeps through the window. To his horror, he sees there only a wall. He hurriedly calls the nurse. "What is this? I see only wall here." "Yes, that's all. There is never a pond there. In fact, the other patient was blind. He cannot, at least you are able to see the wall. He is not able to see even the wall." Then nurse tells him, "Perhaps he wants to cheer you up. That's why he's telling all those stories to you." So the moral is, no greater happiness than making others happy, regardless of your difficulties. So if that being so, why getting happiness is so difficult in life? Because we are always chasing something what is missing in our life rather than what is already available. Again, I would like to narrate a small story of a missing goat. There are two mischievous students are there somewhere in Sweden or Ireland. In one Sunday afternoon, they catch hold of three goats and number them as 1, 2, and 4. They leave it to the school. So next day morning, when everybody comes to school, they smell something is wrong. They see droppings everywhere. They realize that something is there, so immediately alerted the security. They will locate three goats and brings to the principal. These are the three, but number 3 is missing. Then immediately other teachers also put on the job to search for it. Then classes are suspended. Entire school will search for that. Till evening they search, but still they don't find it, because they are chasing something which is non-existent. Similar thing we are doing in our life. In spite of having so many things, good job, good life, good wife, good kids, always our mind concentrate on what we are not having than what we are having. In this process, we are losing the happiness. So we should stop chasing that missing goat and be happy with what we have. Another thing, caution is, happiness should not be mistaken with the pleasure, because pleasure is at a physical plane, happiness is at a mental plane. It is the state of mind. It is very well narrated through a small story in Sai Baba's life story, Kaka's servant maid. Shama is a close devotee of Sai Baba. He used to read scriptures, and once he was reading Isha Upanishad and goes to Baba, "Baba, I am not getting the essence of Isha Upanishad. You help me." Then he says, "Don't worry, it is a very simple thing. Anyway, you are going to Mumbai in Bandra, Kaka Sahib's house. There, servant maid's younger sister is there, Shama. She will clarify to you." So others thought Baba is joking, he is taking the situation very lightly. But Shama is a staunch devotee. He takes in word and spirit of every syllable uttered by Baba. He believes that he goes there to Kaka's house. There, early morning, he listens to a song. He comes to the balcony and sees down. You see a young girl in rags, very dirty and torn clothes. So she was washing the utensils and singing very beautifully about a dress which is very much colorful, studded with mirrors, and it has all laces, everything. Then next day, when Kaka Sahib gives new clothes to Shama on the festive occasion, he requests him, why don't you give one new dress to that little girl also? Happily, Kaka Sahib obliges and gives that. That girl wears those dress on the festive day and dances around very happily as if she is the happiest person on the earth. Next day, she puts back that new dress in a box and comes back to the work, again washing the utensils with her old torn dress, wearing the torn dress, and she is as happy as ever and again singing the same song. It suddenly strikes to Shama, the happiness is the state of mind. It is not function of the possessions that we have or the things that we don't have. So this is the essence of Isha Upanishads. He realizes, as rightly told, it was by Baba. Next one, please. As on the contrast, Sri Ram sir used to say, sorrow is the source for our wisdom. It teaches us the wisdom. It is the wisdom that once you obtain, it gives the power of discrimination. It is the tool that guides us in the world of duality, to distinguish the duality. It is something like what we do for purifying gold, or even when we are doing cooking brinjal, we put onto the fire on all sides of a brinjal until it is properly cooked, then only it is go for the preparation of the chutney or some dish. So similar, that means gold is also put to, for purification processes, is put to fire. So that's why when you face difficulties, say in the form of a disease or a loss or any these things, so it has to be realized that God is testing us. God is putting us to fire only to purify. Then why me only? Why us only? Because you are gold. That's why you are trying to be purified. Nobody is interested in purifying iron. So you are a gold. That's why you are precious to him. That's why he is doing further purification. Not within, it is not construed that either he is angry or unhappy with us. Buddha also says the world is full of sorrows. Okay, if the world is like full of sorrows, what is the way out? Simply we have to suffer. How spirituality helps us? This is what we would like to ponder over. Next one, please. Normally, it is construed that maturity is function of age, which is not true. So when small boy playing with the balloons, after some time it breaks. It has to break eventually. Then father tries to explain to him when he is crying, Beta, it is like that only. It is, of course, meant for breaking. So you have played for some time. It doesn't matter. You will get a new one. But same maturity, he will not be in a position to apply when something happens to him. He loses something or faces some difficulty. That apparent maturity evaporates. So the true spirituality is accepting life as it comes. Of course, it is easier said than done. Here again, Joyce narrates a small story. Bhakta Potana. Actually, in the film also you can see that very well portrayed by Sri Nagaya. Instantly, Guruji chose him as our first president of USCFI. Potana was writing Bhagavatam, and his brother-in-law, again great poet Srinatha, wanted him to dedicate it to king so that he can make a lot of money. But Potana was not for it. He says it belongs to God. I cannot give it to any human being. So to teach him the importance of money, to put him into embarrassment, he comes unannounced with several guests to his house. So wife gets worried, but he says, yeah, you are welcome. You get ready for food. You take your bath and come for food. Then wife tells him, with how can you feed him? You do something. You go buy, borrow, or steal. We don't have anything to feed them. It will be embarrassment for us. It will be insult. Then he says, don't worry. It is God who has sent them. It is God who have come in this form. God only will feed them. Why are you worried? Then he says, for everything you say, God, I'm tired of you. Then he goes to prayer room and cries out of his heart. Then suddenly miracle happens and there is a plenty of food appears and everybody has a sumptuous food. Then Potana says, Bhagavantunu Bhaktaniki Manavamana Lemite Pichidana, means for a devotee, true devotee, there is nothing like insult or elation or felicitation. Both are equal. It is God doing everything. So either praise or a curse, both are for him. So that means, so that when she said that wife, Potana's wife shed tears, then only she could realize the God's miracle. So same thing, in other words, Sriram sir used to say that teardrop is the prism through which alone you can see God. That means difficulties are in disguise. They are meant for showing you God. So then he made this statement in a training course in Hyderabad, which I was attending. That statement struck me very hard. I felt a little bit rattled by listening to that. I approached him during the break and told him, sir, throughout my life, I never had any difficulty. So either in education or for my job or for my money, marriage, my kids, her education, her marriage, everything was going so smooth. Your statement is very, very horrifying for me. That means you are saying that I am not even qualified to appear for the exam. Forget about whether I'm passing or failing. So whether I see God or not is a different thing. You are disqualifying me even before appearing for the exam, that you are not qualified to appear for the exam. It's not, I feel scared about this situation. Then he said, no, don't worry. It is not like that. Always there will be exceptions. There will be some students who does not require a cane to be used by a teacher. So they are good students. So you may be falling on that category. Don't worry. I hope he is not just consoling me. He really means every word what he mentioned. Next one, please. Guruji always used to tell, spirituality is a practical tool. It is not simple theory. It is not an abstract thing. Unfortunately, it is most misinterpreted. His typical example is Bhagavad Gita. It is most read, at the same time most misunderstood. That's why it is most misinterpreted. So always they say that it is for sannyasis, it is not for samsaris, householders, which is not true. In fact, Sriram sir says, it prepares one well for battle of life. It gives not only the shield, but also the sword. It teaches you both offense and defense as and when required. Next one, please. So what does it teach us? It teaches desires and attachments. So that means it teaches, do your effort to fulfill your desires. But only thing it cautions not to worry about the result. Doesn't mean that you don't get the result. But only thing is, it tells you not to worry about the result. So don't stop the effort. So it advocates karma phalatyaga, not karma tyaga itself. That distinction has to be very, very clear. Sri Ram sir puts in another words, the very fact that Arjuna fought the war after listening to Gita is the testimony for this. This is the utility thing. So spirituality is enjoying the joys of life without the side effects. Example, say jackfruit. It is very messy. It gets stuck to your hands. So when you normally what you do, you apply oil so that you can very easily get the bulbs out. So spirituality is that oil to hands in enjoying the jackfruit called life. Next one, please. Apart from desires, Gita talks about attachment and detachment also. He tells that you should have attached detachment or detached attachment, both in equal proportions. For example, birds and animals, they put their best effort for their kids. But once they are grown up, immediately they'll step out and let them live their own life. Whereas you tend to get attached to their kids, then their kids, then their kids. So we never let them to draw a mark where there should be attachment and at what point of time you have to leave. Another thing Gita advocates is surrender to the God Almighty. Means do your effort, do your best, and leave the rest to Him, for Him to act. This is possible on two situations. Either you have to be innocent or you should have an absolute faith in God. To narrate the role of innocence, to narrate the strong belief of absolute faith in God, I recollect again a story of Guruji. One warrior gets married recently, just after marriage, he will be traveling with his wife in a small boat in the river. Suddenly weather changes, there is a storm breaks out. The storm is increasing its intensity with time. Wife gets worried and looks at him, but he is calm, he is just looking at outside at the storm. Finally, she asks him, are you mad or a stone without having any emotions? Then immediately he draws the sword from his sheath and puts very close to her neck. Are you afraid? She laughs and says, no. Why? Because you are my husband, you love me very much. Sword is in your hand, so why should I fear? So same is the case with me. God loves me, I know that. And storm with the sword in his hand, so I know that I am in safe hands. If I survive, it's good. If I do not survive, it's also good, because God cannot make any mistakes. He will do with a purpose. So the spirituality helps us, the individual who is practicing, to face the life the way it should be. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah. When you come to self-surrender, we look at the role of innocence. Again, one story I recollect told by Guruji. There is a guru, he has several disciples in the ashram. One day Guruji wants to go for a pilgrimage along with the disciples, but somebody should stay back in the ashram to take care of the ashram. So obviously nobody is ready. So one innocent fellow says, don't worry Guruji, I will stay back, you all go. But Guruji knows that he is innocent, but of a limited abilities, he is not sure whether he can manage the things. Then he asks him, do you think really you can manage? You will not have any problems? No problem, Guruji, I'll manage. But only thing is, please tell Lord Rama, because Guruji is at the center of the ashram. They used to have Lord Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, and Maruti, big idols. So please tell Rama that whenever if you have any difficulties, he should come to my rescue. Guruji says, okay, I will tell before I go. So they all left. He's all alone. He started doing the all activities all by himself to the best of his abilities. So after a week, the devotees' number also increased in spite of the fact that Guruji is not around. Perhaps maybe the deep devotion of this disciple is the reason. He goes and starts crying in front of Lord Rama in the night. He asks in a human voice, what is the problem? Why are you crying? See, look at this, the numbers are increasing. I am not able to manage. So look at Lord Hanuma is simply sitting in front of you, is not doing any work. Why don't you depute him to help me? He can help me in the household, like putting the cow dung in water and sprinkling and cleaning, this kind of course he can do it. So Lord Rama laughs under his breath for his innocence and obliges by deputing Hanuman. So Hanuman is put to job. After 1 week, again he comes back. Then what is the problem? Now devotees further has increased. Now Lakshmana is simply standing with the bows. Now there is no need for fighting any wars. All wars are over. So why don't you depute him also to help me? He can go and go for the grazing of all these cattle and milk the cow. So this kind of help he can do. Why don't you depute him? He is also deputed. After a week, again he comes back. Devotees' number is swelling. So why don't you depute Sita Mate so that she can do cooking and clean the vessels? God has no choice. Again deputes Sita. Then by the 1 month is over, Guruji's troop is coming back. From distance, they look at the ashram. It looked as if it is on fire, because the vibrations are so good, it is glowing, but they thought it is on fire. When they come to near, only they realized that the vibrations are so bright. No wonder everybody is deputed, all gods are working on the campus. They come inside and so many devotees will be doing the bhajans, and our disciple is in almost in ascetic state, is in trance. He brings him to the senses, and Guruji, he realizes the Guruji. And what happened to these idols? Is there any theft in the ashram? No theft, Guruji. You only told, no, Lord Rama will listen to my problems, and whenever there is an issue, I requested him to depute them. You see, Lord Hanuman is working there, and Lakshmana is doing there. Mata is in the kitchen. She is doing cooking for the devotees, prasadam. Then Masterji gets surprised and falls on the feet of the disciple and says that you are the Guru, I am not the Guru. So that is the power of innocence that gives the immense faith in God. Another story is a surgeon and a patient. You must have heard, it is a real story happened. There is one Dr. Mehta. He is from Gujarat. He is a very famous cardiac specialist. So many doctors used to work under him in different locations. He attends to the patient only if it is absolutely required. Otherwise, based on his instructions, younger doctors only will do the whatever surgeries are required. One young girl was brought to him. She has a heart problem, and all the reports he examines and tells the parents, you have two choices. One is you admit her for surgery. If I do the surgery, the chances of her survival is only 30%. That means she can die on the surgery table, operation table, 70%. If I don't go for surgery, she will not survive more than 3 months. What poor parents can make a choice? They agree for the surgery. So she is admitted 6 days before the surgery. Mother stayed with her, and every day she used to tell her stories and prayers to her. And she has put on the D-Day has come. She has put on the operation theater. Doctor came with all dressed up along with his junior doctors and nurses. Just before starting the day, he says, "Good morning, young lady. How are you? Today I'm going to do surgery. You will be all right." Then the incident then happened, surprises the doctor. The young girl asks him, "Doctor, are you going to do open heart surgery?" Everybody is telling that. "Are you opening my heart completely?" "Don't worry, child. You will not get the pain. I will see to that there is no pain and you will be all right. Don't worry." "No, doctor, I am not worried. I am simply asked, I have a question. Are you opening my heart?" He says, "Yes." "If you are opening my heart, my mother every day tells me that God lives in the heart. Please take a look at my heart whether God is there. If he is there, how he looks. You should narrate to me once I became all right." Doctor was stunned at this question and the situation. He did not know how to react. He says, okay, child, I will do it." So operation started. Anesthesia was given. And after 45 minutes also, there is no blood coming into the heart. So doctor is highly disappointed. So he tells junior doctors, yeah, wind up, put the sutures back. So we can't save the child, sorry. But that moment, the words of the young girl strikes him very hard, that he should look for the God in the heart. He never believed any miracles. He never prayed before. First time in his life, he starts praying to the God with the tears welling into the ears, in his eyes. "Lord, the young girl believes that you live in her heart. If you are living, please do miracle and you only can save. All my skills and all my knowledge has come to a naught. I cannot do anything further. Please do something." His eyes are filled with tears. He is not able to see anything. The nurse helps him by removing the spectacles. That time, the doctor next to him elbows him. "Sir, just see, blood is pouring into the heart. We can continue the surgery." That was a real miracle. Again, he puts back his specs and continues the surgery. Surgery went on for 45 minutes. He cleans up the heart very well so that she can live at least for 70 years. Dr. Mehta narrated this incident to his friend. And then while narrating itself, he becomes emotional and says, "Now I had an additional problem. In 2-3 days, she will recover and comes back to me. If she asks, have I seen God? How he looks? What would I answer?" Then his friend told him, "Don't worry, doctor. You tell her that don't try to see God with your physical eyes. Try to experience him. God can be experienced but not be seen." So that incident changed the doctor completely. He started putting God's photo in the operation theater. Before every surgery, at the age of 69 years it happened. So he start doing the prayers before every surgery. "My skills are I am keeping aside. It is you who can save the patient. So please help for the success of the surgery." He told, it seems, "At 69 years, I have become cultured. So this young girl has made me cultured." The friend of doctor now comments, see, many of the parents says that, see, nowadays kids are going away from culture, they lament, but they absolve themselves of the responsibility of teaching. Like that mother, they also should tell these spiritual things to the kids right from the beginning. The education system itself should be different. They cannot be simply empires and say that this boy is out, he is away from culture. They cannot be simply empire to declare that he is out. Their responsibility should be to see that the kids are not get out. You have to teach them properly right from the beginning about the spirituality. That is what the anguish of Guruji that formed the basis for him, the Gurukula system, what he was telling that is the need for changing the society, the Gurukula type of education. So to get this kind of immense faith and innocence, so two things are required. The ignorance should go, the arrogance should reduce. Ignorance means, in the sense, not having a wrong concept is much more important than having a concept of any spirituality. Then arrogance is, in the sense, ego, aham, doership. I did it, I am doing it. So that has to get matured into Naham Karta, Hari Karta. It's not me the doer, Hari is the doer. That graduates you into next level, Naham Bhokta, Hari Bhokta. Even who is experiencing is not me, it is Hari. So to that level, one should have bhakti. Then bhakti only makes the mind loses its identity, makes it nirvikara. Otherwise, mind is dangerous. It is a doubting Thomas. Until you have brought to our control, until you make friendship with the mind, it is the doubting Thomas. Once you overcome that, it becomes our friend. It only helps to move further in the spiritual path. So, bhakti is the bedrock of self-surrender and absolute faith on God. Looks very simple recipe. So when practices bhakti, automatically it leads to gnana. So bhakti marga is far simpler than gnana marga. That's why Guruji also used to advocate bhakti is the easiest path for way forward for God realization and reaching the ultimate aim. Then where is the problem? Recipe is so simple. So where is the catch? Everybody can practice it. Next one, please. Problem is, when tragedy strikes, without gnana, bhakti will be shaken. Example, somebody close to us dies. Without forewarning, some accident happens. So this kind of situation, it is very difficult to remain unperturbed unless there is a strong support of gnana. We see death everywhere, but we believe that it will never happen to us. We behave as if we are eternal. We feel that we'll get a feeling that it will never happen to our close kith and kin. It is only far distant possibility. And gnana is very difficult saying that, to remember at that juncture that death is only for body, not for atma. Body is like a shirt. The moment the way you change the shirt and wear a new one, so atma is also wearing a new body. So this kind of thing, keeping in mind in that moment of tragedy, is very, very difficult unless gnana is supports. So in the gnana marga, it reduces the karma and eventually burns instantaneously the karma and leads to realization. But till then, bhakti and gnana, they have to go hand in hand. Next one, please. So to take the discussion further, it warrants a unconditional self-surrender, saranagati. So the advantage of unconditional self-surrender is it gives Lord himself into your possession. Lord begets the person begets the Lord himself. It is very surprising, but it is a paradox. As Sri Ram sir says, paradox is the only way to understand the truth. We have several examples. For example, Sakubai. She is given by almost impossible task by mother-in-law that she has to do so many bags of grain into, she has to grind them before she seeks the darshan of Vittal on Ekadasi. Lord himself comes to her rescue. He releases her and he will be doing that core whole night sitting there. Again, coming back to Potana, he sacrificed everything for the Bhagavatam, sacrificed all his pleasure, happiness, and faced so many difficulties, defying the king. But ultimately, when king sends his military to move him out of the house and take the possession of Bhagavatam, he simply walks out along with the family. Then daughter asks, "How about Bhagavatam?" She says, "Bhagavatam belongs to Lord, it is not ours. So he will take care." So this is the perfect demonstration of absolute attachment and absolute detachment. He showed the attachment to Bhagavatam to such an extent he was prepared to face all the utter poverty and all difficulties. When the critical point has come, a point of no return has come, instantaneous detachment is shown for Bhagavatam and said, "Lord will save it. It is not mine." He walked away. So that is the real attachment and detachment. So to conclude, Bhakti and Grana are two twins, are two wheels of spirituality. Next one, please. I'm coming close, another 5 minutes. Maybe we started a little bit late also. I think you can give me that extra spare time. So spirituality is not an overnight job. It is not like instant coffee or instant success. It has to be, it's a house that is built brick by brick, day by day, 24/7. So I'll tell one story and conclude. A carpenter story I'll not say. I'll go directly to the second story. A father is there. Normally fathers are highly disciplined. They try to instill discipline in the sons. More stern and strict with sons rather than daughters. So here also in this story, a father is there very strict and son is tried to be disciplined. Son is very much disappointed. He feels the degree of discipline is too high. Much might be said on both sides. Perhaps the father is crossing the normal tolerance limits of a discipline, and son also perhaps may be having the limits of tolerance is low for the son. Eventually son leaves the house and goes away. He goes away and takes a shelter in one place where some small hotel is there. He was sleeping outside on the platform, and whatever little money is there, with that he is buying something and eating and spending. 1 or 2 days are passed. So since son is not returned, mother is very much worried and makes father, no, you have done too much. So now at least he's gone away out of the home. Whom you will discipline? You go and get him. So father has no choice. He goes in search of the boy and finds him there in one of the houses there. Instead of waking him up from sleep, he goes inside and talks to the owner. So that is my son. I know that he is so unhappy with me that I am too much of a disciplinarian. He won't come back. But please do me a favor. You get him inside. Whatever expenses are there, I'll keep sending you. You give him good education, give him good all comforts. Whatever is required, you do it. So he happily agrees, takes the boy inside and does all the things. Then this boy starts feeling, see, look at this gentleman. He is nowhere related to me. He is so kind. He's doing all this. He's giving me money. He's giving me clothes. He's giving me education. Whereas my father was too strict with me. So this Chinnajiyar Garu, Swamiji, he was narrating this story and he's telling that this is what happens in our life also. That's how we interpret the ultimate Father, the God. He is not kind to us. We are getting help and other consolations from other fellow beings without forgetting the fact it is the real Father who is doing all this through, all this help and all this thing through to us. Without his permission, nobody can do it. So that is how it is done. So we should recognize the hand of God. So when somebody is very hard on us discipline, either father or guru, when they are very hard on our discipline, we should realize that they are like sculptures. They are giving the harsh treatment only to turn ourselves into beautiful sculptures. So eventually, a satisfied and contented spiritual life is much better than a successful life, because success is measured by others. How much money I have, how many cars I have, what a great job I have, how much wealth I made, how much name I made, fame I made. But satisfaction is measured by ourselves. Our heart knows whether we are happy or still chasing a missing goat. Once we acknowledge the God, that we are in the safe hands of Almighty, so then there is no fear that He will provide everything what we need rather than not as per our greed. So life is a stream, so it is a strong current, so it is easy to move forward with hand in hand along together. So let us practice at least some of these or all of them as we walk through under the watchful eyes of Guruji. I end my talk with a prayer saying that I request, while we walk hand in hand, I request God and Guruji to hold our hands, because if we hold His hands or their hand, we may, by mistake also, we may leave. But if they are holding our hands, they will never leave. So that is my prayer. Thank you very much. Next one, please. So here I acknowledge, certainly God greatest blessing is bringing Guruji into my life. So that there is no words to explain. So life should have been totally different without the great influence of Puja Guruji in my life. Amagaru, for her gracious present, I'm sure she is a virtual presence. Sri Ram sir, whose teachings along with that of Guruji form always my crux of my presentations. Professor Akram, I mean, this is the old slide I couldn't edit. I will add Professor Vikramji also. Professor Vikramaditya, Professor Srinivas, Professor Sai Baba, and Professor Dattatreya. They are not only my friends, philosophers, but they are my guides. Raju Garu and Santarani Garu, the dynamos of contagious enthusiasm and energy to all of us at Rishi Vatika. All my SQ group students, friends, and relatives who are actively participating today's online program. If you find anything good in this presentation, it belongs to these spiritual masters. Any misinterpretations or misrepresentations or misunderstandings are exclusively mine. Next one, please. Next one, please. I express my deep sense of gratitude to Sri Ram sir and Swamiji, I'm not getting his name. So Rayar Garu, both have witnessed and blessed Rishi Vatika Campus for the success of the program. Next one, please. Again, Amagaru, for her gracious present, always she used to say, you are my fifth son. So I am sure that from heavens above, she is watching the program today. Next one, please. This is my SQ group, all the students and my colleagues who attended satsang and summer camps at Rishi Vatika. My daughter also there now, who lives in US along with husband Advait. And the lady in the sari is my wife, who takes care of my physical, mental, and emotional health. In spite of 30 years of marriage, still I am smiling means all the credit goes to her. She is my partner in the spiritual path in way forward. Next one, please. Thank you very much for the organizers, especially Dr. Gadadhar and his team, for giving me this opportunity to share all my thoughts with you people. Thank you. It's open for corrections and suggestions.
Wow.
So a great presentation on Pathless Path, which made the audience speechless. And that is practical, how far what they preach and teach and speak, but practicing also we have physically seen, making students in research also a part of family, right? So it became both. There were few questions here towards Dr. Raghavarao. That is, one is Venkat Raghavan has asked a question. Request Raghavarao Garu to throw light on why happiness and wisdom does not go along. Could not understand it.
So what Sriram sir was mentioning is wisdom. If wisdom is there, then I will realize that there is nothing like happiness and unhappiness. If a desire is fulfilled or not fulfilled, I am not perturbed. So I will be, I'll get a samyama, not perturbed or affected by what is happening. So that is possible according to his narration. Only by sorrow brings that close to God. So just now Dattatreya Garu was also telling God has sometimes rubbed them. Recently they had a close rubbing from God. So these are the things which gives the prisms to have a glimpse of God, not the happiness. See, for example, I can cite the example of Draupadi. She says, Lord Krishna, give me always unhappiness so that always I'll remember you. There is a danger of forgetting God when we are happy. Hope, Venkat Garu, I answered at least partially what you have asked.
So that is a nice explanation. Yes, Kunti has asked, she wanted more trouble so that she cannot forget God. And one more question is by Srinivas Prabhu, an upcoming spiritual scientist. And can you please explain how to shift focus from running behind the pleasures to running behind happiness, keeping in mind happiness can only be gained by giving it to giving it to others?
I'm surprised to see such a question from a young scientist. In fact, in normal conditions, he is too young to contemplate. That is the difference in Rajugari's families. So I said relatively young age. That's why I came in touch with Guruji. These are young kids. By birth itself, they are exposed to Guruji. They are much more fortunate. So yes. So how to change the focus is again, it is like bottoms up approach and anugraha. Again, Guru's blessing must be there on us to acknowledge the need of to make our more focused. Of course, it is plenty of it is there on you. So I'm sure that you will make a right choice.
One more question. So Sri Seshagiri Garu, sir, how to overcome Arishad Varga? A great.
See, here it is not a simple recipe that gives us to overcome. So it is not a practitioner's list. So it is spiritual path is a very critical thing. It is not like, suppose in normal education, if I am 10th standard, if I fail in 10th standard, I'll stay there only. In spirituality, it is like a ladders and snakes game. If I make a mistake from 10th standard, I'll fall to first standard. Again, I have to start all the thing. So it is a constant awareness, constant effort, putting again for the grace of God, grace of Guru. So ultimately, every time, to the extent possible, remembering God, remembering Guru is the only way. They eventually show you the path. They will eventually show you the guidance. They will make you achieve the goal.
So we had a nice session today, a good lunch for the ears, and thank all one and all Rishi Vatika group, IAVS, and other invisible team here for working this, giving great presentations to all, and we thank Raghavarao also.